Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising, this is your tarot reading for the week ahead. I'm pleased to announce it's looking like a very good week. We start off with the Two of Cups and the Justice card. I see these in combination because you've got the Trump 2 mirroring the two towers within the Justice card. Also, the Justice card being the number 11 and 1 makes 2. So there's definitely a combination here. Partly numerologically, but also in this theme of reciprocity. That seems to be a big theme that's coming up for you this week. What you put out is what you receive. The Justice card represents the universal laws, the 12 universal laws, things like law of attraction, law of cause and effect, law of economy. I'm particularly interested there with the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect. Particularly in this term of, well, what we give, we receive. And so too, where the mind goes, energy flows. So be really mindful about where your thoughts are headed and where they're going. Are you approaching things with a sense of lack, with a sense of frustration, with a sense that things aren't good enough? If so, then that's likely to be heightened. However, if you approach things with a sense of abundance, a sense of generosity, a sense of grace, then that is much more likely to be the themes that come up for you. You can see in the Two of Cups that one character is giving their cup whilst receiving another, and that being the balance, that being the natural law and the natural order of things. Therefore, this week you're likely to feel, well, you're unlikely to feel themes of being taken advantage of, or that you're shortchanged in any way, or that your efforts and your generosity have somehow been taken advantage of or have been thwarted. So I really encourage you to be quite the reverse. Be as generous as you can be as open-handed, be as positive. And this applies particularly in terms of your relationships, your interpersonal relationships. That could be romantic, that could be to do with work, whatever it is in relation to other people. It's really key here. Are there people that you've perhaps not spoken to for a while, or is there just a little bit more, a little bit extra that you could go? Can you go the extra mile with somebody or a group of people? There's a real sense that if you do that, it's going to pay absolute dividends, even though that's not what it's really about. Just assume that in all relationships, you have to give more than you receive. But they're definitely feeling this sense of balance. Therefore, you might have a nice surprise as well this week in the form of a gift, in the form of a promotion, but certainly your previous efforts or your friendships and your relationships being acknowledged and recognized, probably in a token gesture, which feels lovely. We move on to the next three cards. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. There's a definite overlap here between your reading and Leo. So be sure to check out their video this week for more detail around this theme. It's also particularly pertinent if your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign overlap Capricorn and Leo. Let me know in the comments below if that is you. I'm always fascinated to know. There is a sense here, you can see I'm particularly drawn to the character in the middle, the Seven of Swords, which is the Lord of, not illusionary success, it will come to me, but it's just this sense of kind of looking one way but moving another, and that's perhaps not the best approach. And ironically, he's kind of looking, he's got the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles either side of him, and they're almost the same card. They both speak about abundance, the finer things in life, things being material. They're both, actually, there's so many overlaps thinking about it, because they're both in this vineyard. They've both got the grapes around them, which again very much shows uh, uh, the finer things in life, being able to enjoy luxury. Um, yeah, it doesn't get much better really. However, he's in this point and he's picked up, he's got everything that he could possibly need and everything he possibly wants in his hand, but he's looking over at these two swords and at the King of Pentacles and going, oh, hang on a second, I also want that. And there's a strong sense of not appreciating what you have and guarding against that. Again, this is why it's so important and why this reading has opened with these two cards about this cause and effect and this law of attraction. It's a real week of compare and despair. Even though he's got everything that he wished for and he's got his arms full, he's still thinking, oh, but I want more, or oh, actually that looks a bit better. You know, if we buy a brand new top or a brand new car or whatever it might be, and then we see somebody that's perhaps got a nicer top, and then suddenly it takes all the pleasure and all the joy out of the top that we've bought, because we're like, oh, I don't want this one anymore, I want that one. And it's just it's a thwarted task. It's an absolute pointless task. And again, it's like he's moving towards all of this abundance, all of this resplendence, and yet still going, oh, but I want that instead. And very often the grass is greener. So just really, really be mindful. Are you being appreciative of what you have? Are you acknowledging what you have? Are you going, thank you so much. This is exactly what I needed, what I'd hoped for. Or are you still just thinking that it falls short of the mark? Because all that's going to do, just as the Justice card speaks about, is it's going to bring more of that sense and more of that feeling in, which doesn't really help anybody. So keep in the back of your mind, do you know what? The grass is greener. I should be content with what I have. Of course, if it doesn't feel right, then move away. But if you wanted something and you've obtained it, and then suddenly it's lost its shine, it's probably got more to do with your attitude more rather than the reality of the situation. So that is my reading for you, Capricorn. As I say, ultimately a good week because you've got everything that you possibly want and your relationships look great. So be sure to acknowledge and appreciate that. That is key. But until next week, be sure to check out your rising sign and your moon sign for a more in-depth reading. If you're not sure how to do that, then check out the website, and particularly pertinent if any of those are within Leo. But until next time, bye for now.